Hey guys, in today's video I wanted to show you how to create a synth lead guitar patch in Ableton Live. I've recently been dabbling in a more 80s kind of vibe in my production. I suppose you could call it synthwave or outrun, cyberpunk. I don't really know the difference to a lot of them, but that's sort of the style I have been going for. And a lot of these tunes use an electric guitar. And within that, quite a few of these tunes use a distinctly fake synth electric guitar. So if you're looking for a realistic guitar, this is probably not the tutorial for you. But if you want something that sounds a little bit like this, then this is the tutorial for you. Now first off, I'd like to give props out to Gabriel Tam, also known as the Neon Syndicate. I'm actually following along to his tutorial, which I'll link below. However, he uses Pro Tools and Hybrid Synth, so I just wanted to try and recreate it as best I could in Ableton Live. So first of all, let's get rid of this electric guitar, and we'll just have one MIDI track with an instance of Operator. Doesn't quite sound the same. First thing we're going to do is change the sine wave to a saw. And then we're going to go over here to time. We're going to change the voices to 2. Now, Gabriel mentions that he likes to have it set to one voice. Now, I don't mind that at all, but I kind of like it with 2 voices so that when you're holding down 2 notes, you get a little bit more feedback, and you'll notice that later on. So now let's go to pitch. What we're going to do here in pitch is turn on the glide and just set the time to 50 milliseconds if it isn't already. Now the next thing we're going to go up to is the filter. Now within this we are going to keep the frequency as it is, 18.5 kilohertz, and resonance at 20%. Now we're going to go down here to frequency is higher than key, or is that less than key? Frequency less than key, however you pronounce it. We're going to set this to 100%. Now the theory behind this is that on a guitar the higher strings that play the higher notes are a lot thinner than the lower strings that play the lower notes. A higher string will have a little bit more twang compared to a lower string. Okay, now let's go up to our LFO. We want to give this a little bit of movement, so let's just turn the LFO on and hear what it sounds like. Oh. So we'll keep it at sine wave. We'll change the rate to, let's say, 58, and we will change the amount to 17. Now you're starting to hear just a slight movement in the sound. Now let's go over to the ADSR for the LFO. We'll keep the attack at as it is, 0 milliseconds. We will change the decay to be 1.3 milliseconds. We will change the release, actually no, we'll leave the release at 50 milliseconds. We will change the sustain to be minus 14. Drag that down. Okay, so as you can hear, it doesn't really sound like a guitar yet. Now what we're going to do is add a formant filter. Now a formant filter basically gives a kind of a vowel type vibe to the sound that you're creating. Now I couldn't find any free formant filters, but I've done the next best thing, and that is found one that only costs $2. It's a Max for Live device, and I will again leave the link in the description below for you to go grab it. And it's an awesome little Max for Live device, and yeah, only $2. Now if I play this tune and I just drag this around, you'll hear what I'm saying, or hear what I'm talking about. So you can hear that vowel type sound. So what are we going to do for the settings here? We are going to keep the dry as is, and we're going to change the wet to 2 dB. Now what we need next is to modulate this. So we'll grab an LFO, and a Max for Live device, and it's a free LFO that you can get. Now what we're going to do is change it to note. We're going to set the rate to 2. We're going to have the depth at 90. And we'll set the phase to 75%. Now we need to map this to the X So you just need to click on the map button, see that it's flashing, come over to X and grab it. Now let's just hold down that note. Okay, so you can hear that movement, you can hear that vowel sound. What we will now do is just duplicate this LFO, and what we're going to do with this is, all we're going to do is change the phase to 0. Then we will unmap that, and now we'll map again, so click the map icon and hit Y. Now you can see it's going around in a circle, and it's going to grab all those vowel sounds. Excellent. So as I said, that vowel filter costs $2. I'll leave the link in the description below. Now this is obviously still not sounding like an electric guitar, but this is where the magic happens. So I tried using an Ableton amp, and I just could not get the amp to sound very good. I couldn't get it to sound like a good electric guitar. Someone with more knowledge on the amp side of things may be able to do a lot better job than me. But what I ended up doing was grabbing a plugin from IK Media called Amplitude 4. Now this is a free plugin, and again I will leave the link in the description below, and it's an awesome amp. So let's just drag it onto the end of the chain here. Now we'll open it up, and now what you want to do from the drop down here is go to Amplitude Free, go to Complete Rigs, down to Lead High Gain and Dist. Now check this out. Excellent. Now we're starting to get that guitar sound. Okay, the last thing we want to do is grab a delay. So let's just grab a stock Ableton delay, add it onto the end. We're going to deselect sync, so we've got time. We're also going to unlink them. Okay, now all we're going to do here is change the time here to be 325 milliseconds, just so that the left and the right are slightly out of sync. Now I'm just going to also adjust this filter so it's a bit of a cuts out some of the low end, and roughly around there, 3.5 kilohertz, whatever. Now we'll also just take the dry wet down to 40%. Okay, so let's have a listen to what we have got now. Much better. Now, what I was talking to you before about the feedback by having two voices, listen to this. How good does that sound? So if I just had one voice, you hear there's no feedback when I add that second note in. Let's go back up to 2. Excellent. So that is the lead synth guitar patch. You can now grab all of these and right click and group, and now you can assign your macros to whatever you want to adjust, if you want to adjust anything. So really that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you get some fun out of creating a synth lead guitar, and that entices you to do something really cool in your production. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button, and until next time, see you later.